Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Monday, June 1st. We're into June. And unfortunately, we won't be having Big Brother by the end of this month. That we know. I don't have any additional news since the last CarCast I did. As far as Big Brother goes, there really hasn't been much. I mean, I think, when I did the last one, it was that we had that little bit of information that there would be, that the president of CBS Entertainment said that, she hoped to see one by late summer. And then CBS announced the fall lineup. Now, there is one little weird twist on that, in that she said late summer. So I want to stick with that. And the question was, how could they do late summer and not roll into the fall lineup? A couple of people have pointed out that I think either Fox or CW or someone has announced that their fall schedule will actually begin in January of 2021. So there may not be a real fall season. No, don't, that's not a for sure thing. And that's a different broadcast company that's saying that for them, and not as big as CBS. So I'm still thinking CBS plans to get something going, maybe not in September, but maybe October, which would be why you would get Big Brother out the door and kind of get a little lead in, something new material coming in. I mean, they've got some new stuff coming out, but it's all stuff that probably didn't make the cut the first time around. And they're like, well, I guess we'll take it now because we already, the better stuff we already got slotted for the fall. Now we'll throw some okay stuff, which is kind of what they feel about Big Brother too. I think Big Brother's like, well, people watch it during the summer. It's an easy watch, and we can get 3 shows a week out of it, so we'll just keep it coming. All right, so that's no additional news on Big Brother. The other thing that I thought I would talk about, at least for a little bit, and probably not terribly long, because I don't know if I have that much to talk about this time around. I did do another sequester mini. Now, I will preface this by saying, those of you who didn't listen to my previous time when I did it, or don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Audrey Middleton from Big Brother 17, after Big Brother, she started this whole game called Sequester. And for those of you that don't know, by the way, and I still don't even know the half of it, there are what they call them orgs, or it's just ORG. There's a whole gaming community out there that they spend all their time playing these kind of games. Vote off the island games of, trying to manipulate other people to do things. The gaming community is a very, very big community, but it is also very, very out of the public view. I'm sure there are some of you that are listening to this that know what I'm talking about, and you probably know more than I do. But what I learned after my first game is that I don't know half of what's going on, and that some of these people that are playing this thing are extremely skilled at, quote, gaming and games. They know game theory. They know how to do stuff. It's a very, very deep and intellectual process that I still am barely wrapping my brain around. So, that's something I learned. But, so Audrey created this game, Sequester, and there's been different variations of it. And again, I'm not going to try to go down into detail because I've already done this before. But the point is that I kind of picked up on it. I knew about it when she first started doing it, but it just didn't sound interesting to me based in that format. But then, this with the quarantine, with people stuck at home, things started to catch people's eyes, and then they did what was called a Sequester Mini. It's a one-night thing, and they did it with Big Brother people, and that intrigued me because I'm interested in seeing Big Brother people, in a massive Big Brother people, not like 1 or 2. It was 20, 10 from Canada, 10 from the U.S. So I was like, all right, I'll tune in to watch that, and I did. I really thought it was cool, so I signed up to play, and I ended up playing a few weeks ago, May 8th to be exact, and then after that, I played that. I thought, this is still fun. I still want to play it again. I want to try again. And so I tried last week, and I didn't get my thing in time, I don't think. Plus, I just, there's a lot of people trying out. There's a lot of people applying to try out. I think there are over 800 patrons now. They're not all trying out every week, but, a lot of people are. So, I didn't get last week, and then I signed up this week, and I got it. So Thursday I knew I was playing on Saturday, and then I immediately thought, why did I agree to do it? Why did I sign up for a Saturday? Because I don't know if I'm crazy about Saturday minis, which is what they're called, Sequester minis, because they're not, the original Sequester are like a week long. This is 5 hours. This one was only 5 hours. Actually, only 4, just barely over 4 hours for what the people saw. And also, there was a really big game on Friday night, which was all the people that had won in the past 20 episodes, roughly, of Sequester. So there was winners. It was a winners season, a winners show of on that night. And so we were following up to that. It's like, that's a huge, we're not going to bring anything near what those people brought. I knew that. I knew I wasn't bringing, what most of them were bringing. So, but still, I signed up for it. Like, okay. And my biggest fear was I'm going to go in and I'm going to get targeted as now I'm a veteran. Now I'm a returnee. Get rid of the vets. Don't keep them around because they'll help each other out and work together. Well, as it went, I didn't know the only other vet of the minis that was playing. I didn't realize that she played before. I mean, I remember watching her play, but it didn't click in my brain. And then we never really talked. And she never said to me, hey, we played before. By the time we got together, we were already both, or she was probably already fairly deep in with other people. It was a very weird game because there was 22. On top of that, there was 22 people. It's normally 20. At first, it was 18 to 20, and then it's suddenly been 20 all the time, and now it's 22. They tried 22 a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think it went well, and I don't think ours went. It was fast, but I have a problem with that. It was so fast that I don't think some people had a chance to make bonds or make connections. So I think the game was hurting them a little bit as far as the social connections that people didn't get to make because you were stuck in your room for a couple of rounds. So, anyways, I've talked about this ad nauseum on other places, on Twitter and on podcasts. And if you guys haven't figured out where to see me talk about this too, then you should be following me on Twitter, and you certainly all are. And just watch for my tweets about that. Those of you that have no interest in Sequester are probably not listening anymore, but you can always mute the hashtag Sequester, and then you won't see anything posted with that hashtag by anybody, including me. And I do try to make most of my Sequester-related tweets with the hashtag Sequester, in part to catch people's eyes, but in other parts so that if people have muted it, they don't have to see anything I put out that says that. It's a really good idea if you're talking about one particular subject a lot and you think that some of the people following you don't give what rat's derriere about that subject, then go into your settings on Twitter and mute any tweets to do with that particular hashtag. You can just go in and say, I'm going to mute anything to do with hashtag Sequester. And boom, it's out. Hashtag Big Brother? Sure. I had, for a while, I muted Survivor and something else because I wasn't watching it as soon as it was on and people were spoiling. Now, the problem is that the people you follow have to be good about that and actually use the hashtags. Most people are. I try to do it a lot. Obviously, sometimes you don't remember to, but I do try to do it a lot. And that's part of the reason, is to get... it's twofold. One reason is because that way you can go searching by that hashtag and people will find related content from people they aren't subscribed to. And the other reason is that it's a way to avoid that content completely by saying, don't show me anything with that particular hashtag. All right, techie stuff done. I don't have a whole lot of other thoughts on my gameplay. I really have not analyzed it that hard yet. I have not gone back to watch it. It was a totally different feel of a game. I did not feel near as close to the people, and I'm going to guess a couple of them might hear this, and it's not an insult to them. And actually, we've actually created I've started talking with several of them, and so some of them I'm getting to know better. So, there is that. Ones that I had communications with, I wish I'd had a chance to get to know them better, but frankly, I went out 5th out of 22. It's not even like I was the 15th person out. I was the 17th. There were 17 people left, or I was the 17th. Either there was 16 after me or 15. I don't even remember whatever it was. But the point is, I was in the ancient history in most of the people's minds. I was not that memorable, and I say that, and that's okay. But when you make jury, when you're that far along, you don't really remember what happened in the really early rounds. And I went out in one of the, quote, really early rounds. I really did. So, it was interesting. It was fun. I would definitely do it again. I don't know when. There is a bit of, at least the most recent couple of regular minis, there has been targeting of anybody who is a known alumni, a known vet. There have been, I think, 4 of us have played. 4 of us from my mini have played since our mini. However, 3 of those were in special minis. So Sarah and Renee played in, and if I missed somebody, you guys give me grief, but I don't think I did. Sarah and Renee played in the Heroes versus Villains mini. So everybody was a vet. They'd all played before. And Dash played in Fridays because he won ours. And then Lavina and I have now played in individual minis. And I don't remember where Lavina went out, but she went out pretty early too. And there was definitely a, go after the vet vibe for her too, which just stinks. But you know what? It is what it is. And I've said it, I don't like vets coming into Big Brother unless it's all vets. Whereas in Sequester, I think I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna knock that. But anyways, I'm driving home, country road, and I'm waiting for some farm equipment to do some maneuvering. And so I'm gonna get out of his way, let him come on down. You gotta give him space. Alright. So, yeah, Lavina and I got the short end of the stick. That's okay. I don't know when I'll play again, but I would like to play again. And if it has to be with a bunch of people that have played before, so be it. At least I think I'd have a little bit better of a chance. But of course, if I play with a bunch of people that played before, somebody's still got to go out, 17th, 15th, 14th, whatever it is. And I don't know if my game is strong enough to take me deep. I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm studying, and now I'm rambling. So I think I'm going to sign off. That's just, there's a whole, by the way, so TR Conradi, I think I'm saying his name right. I've tweeted him several times. He does a play-by-play. He did a play-by-play Saturday night of our mini. I have yet to watch the play-by-play to hear how they analyze my game, if they talk about it at all. I plan to go back to watch at least that part of it. I actually was on I went on later that night. After I was out, I went back and talked on it. But I haven't watched my part of it from their view. So those of you that have still never seen me on camera or something, I don't know what to tell you because I've done it now. I've done this sequester thing twice, and I've appeared on a few podcasts, with me on camera talking. And no, this is not going to change anything to do with the Big Brother Gossip Show. We're not going to start being on camera. I'm not going to be on camera and the other two be not on camera. It's just, I don't think there's a need we don't really need to be on camera when we're doing our stuff. There's just, why? Why do you need to be on camera? Why do you got to see? I mean, facial expressions are fun to see and stuff and the way people express themselves, but, there's no It doesn't add anything to it. We play audio clips. We can't play video clips of the show. We would get totally shut down by CBS. But audio-only clips work. So it kind of works that we don't show ourselves. So it's a totally audio-only podcast. But with that, I'm going to sign off. And hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I had some errands I had to run, some things I had to get done. So I took a half a personal business day. So tomorrow will be a full day of work, I think. Ugh. Yeah, work. I shouldn't complain. I should be happy I have a job. And I am happy I have a job. But, sometimes you just want a break. And it'd be nice to get a break. Longer than a weekend. And this didn't feel like much of a break this weekend because of the mental stuff that goes with being on something like this. All right, that's it. I'm done talking. Anyone who has never played or never watched a sequester or has an interest in it or anything, you're always welcome to tweet at me, twitter.com/bbgossip, or email me at ilovereality@gmail.com. If you want more information or something, just let me know. I'd be more than willing to share some thoughts with you about it. All right? And if you're ever going to be on one, you might ask me if I'm on that one, because I'm not going to say no if I am. How's that? I had one person from, I've already said this publicly, I had one person from Saturday Night's Mini, his name was Brian, and he contacted me on Thursday right after he got notice that he was accepted. Now, mind you, I had just been told I was accepted too. And he was contacting me for advice. People do that. They reach out to people who have played before for advice about how to play the game. I don't know why Brian picked me. I don't know if I really particularly helped him, but I did give him some advice. And but I was torn about, do I tell him I'm playing or not? And I decided that it might be bad for my game if I didn't at least tell him I was playing. But I was not going to go into this whole, all right, I'm playing too, and I'm going to work with you, and we're going to make this happen. Because frankly, I had no idea what kind of a player Brian was going to be, and I did not want to attach myself to him if he came out of the gate and was, not a very good player. Now, Brian lasted longer than me, so, there you go. It may not have been a bad idea to do that, but I really didn't want to because there's just a bit of a frowning that goes on what's called pre-gaming, especially for a game where, in theory, nobody should know each other. But it does happen in some minis as well. And I guarantee you, if I had any of my former castmates from the first one I did, I would hope if any of them had shown up in the mini that we would have worked together and helped each other out, at least to get to jury, at least to get the halfway point. That's kind of that break line where you can keep a lot of alliances going until that point. At that point, it may be a free for all, or it may be this is my ride or die. But I didn't get that opportunity on Saturday. Nobody really wanted to work with me. I've had people tell me they wanted to work with me since, but I really don't think anybody wanted to work with me. I think it was a combination of things. I think there was some thought that I was some evil genius, and I'm maybe one person thought that, and maybe they were drunk. I don't know, but I certainly wasn't, and I won't ever be an evil genius kind of a player. But I don't blame them for being worried that maybe he's not going to be honest with me, and maybe he's already working with somebody else. I get that, but there's a certain point where you need to be loyal, and I had nobody to be loyal to this last game. I was nice. Brian at one point was up for eviction, but he was safe. His name wasn't coming up, and so I didn't have to worry about even protecting him. And there was not a time where I said, unlike my first game, there was not a time I said, well, I really don't want to vote for this person. I did say the round that I thought I said I was done with, didn't I? Didn't I say I was done? Oh yeah, I did. The round that Drew was evicted, I did suggest we have a backup name, and that may have hurt my game too. I don't know. And I said Allie as a backup name, but it was only because I was paranoid that what if Drew doesn't go? What if he has something and he doesn't, and we have to vote for somebody else? Is there another name? And I suggested Allie. At the time, I thought Allie didn't seem like she was going to be able to go very far. I was wrong. She went much further than me. So again, that's what it is. And with that, now I am really going. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I don't know when I'll do another one of these. Hard telling. But appreciate all of you that listen to this and share it and whatever. I appreciate my patrons. I'm still holding strong at 9. If for some reason any of you crazy people want to become a patron of me and my CarCast, not the Big Brother Gossip Show, mind you. And by the way, before I get to that one, let me do one other thing, because someone had a misunderstanding, someone that I figured wouldn't have, but the Big Brother Gossip Show only charges patrons when we do an actual show. There is no charge. It's not a per month charge. So my patron account charges per month. There is a monthly flat charge. Our patron account charges for the Big Brother Gossip Show charges per show we do. So if you pledge, $1 per show or $2 per show, and we do 4 shows in a month, at the end of the month, you're going to get charged $4. If we do 1 show, you're going to get charged $1. If we do, or whatever I said, $2 per show or whatever it is, you're going to get charged that amount per show that we did. Whereas if I do 30 shows on my podcast, on the Patreon that supports this, you're still just going to get charged whatever amount you've pledged. Whether it's $5 or $10 or 50 cents, or I don't think you do 50 cents, but you understand what I mean? I hope you do. So, my Patreon account. So those of you, it's because somebody had canceled their subscription at the end of last season for the Big Brother Gossip Show, and I'm like, there was no need. You didn't get charged. You would not have been charged this entire time. And they were going to go sign back up, which is great. For me, if for some strange, crazy reason you want to be a supporter of my, now I got a cough because I've been talking too long, of my CarCast, this thing, by all means, go to my Patreon account. My Patreon account, I believe, I should really double check this to verify, but it should be Patreon, patreon.com/bbgossip. Same as my Twitter account. I believe that's my Patreon. If you go there, you'll know right away, because it says there's a whole 9 patrons. Unless I've lost one in the last day and I don't know about it. Or 2. And you can sign up for whatever you want. I mean, there's levels, but there's no... I'll give you a shout out and thank you, and I need to shout out my current patrons. So I need to do that. I need to make a point when I'm not driving a car that I go and write it down and have it on a piece of paper so I can give everybody a shout out, because I appreciate them. But I say, if you're a patron, at one level you get 1 shout out, another level you get 2 shout outs maybe, or so, I don't know. And at level 3, I'll buy my wife a bottle of wine, if you're supporting at that level. So there's no other than, and I didn't do it for Saturday, and there was a reason, and it was just because I was like, oh my god, I got a new another patron, and I have to type this out, and I was running out of time. It was just a long weekend, so apologies to my patrons. However, the very first one I was on, I did notify all 9 of my patrons that I was going to be on sequester that Friday night. So they got a 2-day warning, and we're really not supposed to tell people we're going to be on. But I figured I'm telling my patron subscribers that I'm going to be on. So, yeah. Anyways, there we go. Now I'm done. I'm out of here. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And all that good stuff. All right? See ya. Bye-bye.